Well, good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you here this morning, and isn't it wonderful to be here in Cairns? Can I too start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we gather and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and thank Gudjil for that beautiful warm welcome to country. Can I acknowledge the Honourable Sterling Hinchcliffe, our Minister for Tourism, and it's his birthday today, so I'm quite sure you all want to wish him a very happy birthday. And he told me there's no better place he'd rather be than right here with Cairns with 700 of his closest friends. Can I also acknowledge Michael Healy, our Assistant Minister for Tourism, and isn't he doing a wonderful job as the member for Cairns up here as well? Now, Cynthia Louie, I think she's got, the biggest or the second biggest electorate in the state. Well done, Cynthia, for all the work that you do. Let's acknowledge Cynthia Louie, our member for Cook. I want to do a special warm welcome to the brand new Mayor of Cairns, Terry James. Where's Terry? Let's give him a big round of applause. Stand up, Terry. I'm quite sure he thinks he's got the best job in the state, but I know I do. Can I also acknowledge the other mayors that are here? Can I acknowledge Trish O'Callaghan, our CEO of Tourism Events Queensland, all of the tourism industry leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome to the 12th annual DestinationQ forum here. We couldn't have picked a better place to talk about the future of Queensland tourism. And every time I come here to the tropical far north, I'm so impressed and so inspired by our beautiful World Heritage rainforests, the Great Barrier Reef, the tablelands, and all the wonderful tourism operators that operate not just across here, but right across Queensland. Now, just look at this convention centre. This was $176 million worth of government funding of your money, very well spent. It's already, as Michael Healy said, paying for itself. 160 events, 130,000 visitors, 138,000 visitor nights, $100 million in delegate spending, and that's just this financial year. So we know how important this convention centre is. I'm very pleased that you all get to appreciate it a little bit more with your stay here. Now, as you all recall, I said if we had a strong health response during the pandemic, we would have a strong economic response, and that's exactly what has happened here in Queensland. Our recovery plan has made Queensland's economy the strongest in the nation with the fastest jobs growth in the east coast of Australia. There are now 276,000 more jobs in Queensland than in March 2020, and our economy is set to grow at 3% this financial year, or twice as fast as the nation. Now, it's no wonder that everyone wants to move here. 120,000 people moved to Queensland last year from New South Wales, Victoria and overseas. You can't blame them, but it does put pressure on our state. And if you think about, 120,000, that's probably the size of Rockhampton and Gladstone moving here to Queensland to appreciate everything that we have. We have lower debt than our southern neighbours, and today unemployment in Queensland is 4.3. Here in Cairns, it's 3%. And I can remember when we were first elected, it was a lot higher than that. It was very high, and I remember a lot of the tourism industry was coming to me saying we've got to do more to support our industry. And I believe that since that time, our government has paid particular attention to the tourism industry through our Aviation Attraction Fund, our Outback infrastructure grants, the money that goes out to all of the different organisations, recognising that tourism is one of the greatest strengths of Queensland's economy, and it will always remain that way whilst I'm Premier of this state. And as we know, 64,000 people work in this fantastic industry. Just last week, I met with Brisbane Airport to talk about their $5 billion airport expansion plans. And as Gert puts it, if the airport's busy, Queensland's busy. We talked about the $200 million Attracting Aviation Fund, which has so far added 26 routes, 1.9 million more passengers, including flights from southern China that the Minister was on hand to meet just on last Saturday. In its first flight last Saturday, it had no empty seats inbound and was 98% full outbound, which I'm told was very rare for its first flight. And more importantly too, it also carried 13 tonnes of Queensland mangoes, and it is mango season at the moment. Attracting more flights from China, especially to Cairns, was a key feature of our recent trade mission to Shanghai and Beijing, and I was joined with very key leaders from the tourism sector, and I'm hoping to make some further announcements about that in the coming days. Now, reconnecting with Chinese visitors is an extremely important part of growing our state's visitor economy. It was very important the Prime Minister went ahead of me on that trade mission, because the time that we all got there, the doors were well and truly open, with very senior executives sitting down there, and also the opportunity for us to launch a Queensland campaign in China. But I want to talk to you more about that tomorrow night. By 2032, it's predicted Chinese visitation will deliver $2.9 billion and will represent more than a quarter of total international visitor spend. Now, this is just one way our government is supporting the industry, and today we're going to talk about another. Our budget this year included $15 million growing the Future Tourism Fund. The aim of this fund was to accelerate private sector investment for new and enhanced products in priority areas of coastal, marine tourism, heritage, cultural and ecotourism. We'll match dollar for dollar any operator investing in these areas up to the value of $4 million. The Minister told me it was oversubscribed. Today I can announce we're doubling that fund to $30 million, so there's more opportunity out there for our tourism sector. And of course, I want you to share my excitement. The biggest single opportunity for Queensland tourism will come from the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games. We know the eyes of the world will be on us like never before. In global terms, we're still largely undiscovered. 2032 will change those misconceptions. Of course, there'll be a great influx of people to see those few weeks of competition, including in Cairns. There are 35 Olympic venues spread right across Queensland. And with the possible inclusion of cricket, even more opportunity to involve more regional cities. But the greatest opportunity of all is making Queensland the backdrop of these games. What will the world think when it sees the Glasshouse Mountains, the Great Barrier Reef, our World Heritage areas, our fabulous beaches, outback Queensland for the first time? I know what they will think. They'll think the same as I did when I saw Barcelona host the Olympics in 1992. That was the place I wanted to visit, and Barcelona's tourism industry quadrupled after the Games. So that is the huge opportunity that awaits us in Queensland. Now, Queensland is Australia's #1 holiday market, reaching a record $33.2 billion in overnight visitor spending for the year to June, and was the holiday destination of choice for a nation-high 10.8 million holiday visitors in the year to June, which was up 15%. Gold Coast and tropical North Queensland welcome more domestic visitors than ever before, with 4 million and 2.5 million visitors enjoying these areas respectively, while Mackay and outback Queensland enjoyed record domestic visitor spending as well. And more than 3/4 of tourism dollars was spent in regional Queensland. We've also ahead of the national average in recovering international visitor spend. The latest Tourism Research Australian data shows 1.6 million international visitors travelled to Queensland between January and June this year, spending more than $4 billion, which was ahead of the national average. Now, another one of our great ambitions for the tourism industry, and especially for 2032, is inclusion. It came up at our Legacy Forum, which a lot of people were involved in, and the key thing that came out loud and clear to the Minister, the Assistant Minister and myself was this word inclusion. Of our First Nations people with disabilities, not just in 2032 but starting now. And that's why we've led the way by making 2023 the year of accessible tourism. This $12 million investment helps businesses develop or enhance accessibility for people of all abilities. And according to Tourism Research Australia, this initiative not only meets the goal of inclusion, it can also generate $1.8 billion a year in extra business. It's great to have Paralympic gold medalist, Grand Slam tennis winner and accessibility advocate Dylan Alcott AO as a keynote speaker here at this forum. Our government is proud to support the Dylan Alcott Foundation's Ability Fest to be held in Brisbane late next year. And I know he's absolutely excited about it because every time he sees me, he talks about it as well, and he's going to share it all with you in the not too distant future. Now, in conclusion, it's impossible to tell the whole Queensland story in just a few brief words, except for these. I still love this. Beautiful one day, perfect the next. It never grows old, does it? It just sums up Queensland perfectly. And if you ask me, that perfect day has never been closer. Greatness beckons Queensland like never before. I'm so proud to work so closely with such an important industry. Everything that you do, you're so passionate about, and that's what makes Queensland different. I think we take great pride in our tourism products and giving people such a unique Queensland tourism experience. So thank you very much for inviting me here. I look forward to seeing you over the course of the next few days, and I declare the conference officially open. Thank you.